when a homeless girl said, "Can I eat your leftovers?" The millionaire did something unbelievable. The sky was dark, not the kind of dark that comes with the night, but the kind that feels heavy, oppressive, as if the clouds themselves were weighed down with all the secrets this town had tried to bury for far too long. The streets were quiet. Dust rose from the gravel roads with each gust of wind, swirling past the windows of the small-town diner that stood proudly in the center of the village. A place where everybody knew everybody, where whispers traveled faster than cars. Inside, the sound of clinking silverware, muffled laughter, and the occasional forced giggle filled the air. It wasn't joy. It was performance. People pretending to be who they weren't, as they always did. At the center of it all sat her, a woman whose presence demanded attention without her having to say a single word. Elegant, impeccable, her hat tilted just perfectly. Her long black hair flowed down her shoulders like silk. Her boots polished. Her diamond necklace caught every flicker of light. Her name was Valeria Montenegro, the wealthiest woman in the entire region, owner of ranches, businesses, and half the land as far as the eye could see. Nobody spoke to her unless spoken to. Nobody looked her in the eye unless they wanted to be crushed under her boot. Her perfectly manicured fingers stirred the coffee slowly. Her sharp green eyes scanned the room, not with curiosity, but with boredom, with that familiar disdain that only someone who had seen it all, felt it all, and grown tired of it could carry. And that's when it happened. A shadow appeared at the edge of her table. Small, fragile, hesitant. She didn't look up at first, but she felt it. That presence, that intrusion. A hush fell over the diner. Forks paused midair. Conversations froze. Eyes darted toward the scene like moths to a flame. And then a voice, weak, trembling, barely audible. See, can I eat your leftovers? Time stopped. For a moment, nobody breathed. Nobody blinked. Valeria slowly lifted her gaze. And there she was, a girl, young, maybe no older than 20. Her clothes were torn, dirty. Her shoes barely held together. Her hair, tangled, messy, but long and beautiful under all that dust. Her eyes, oh God, her eyes, big, brown, shining with something more painful than hunger. Desperation, humiliation, shame. Gasps rippled through the restaurant. Someone laughed under their breath. Another person whispered, disgusting, while another scoffed. The nerve of her. Valeria didn't move, didn't speak. She just stared. The girl swallowed hard, her hands shaking as she clutched her worn-out bag to her chest. Her voice came again, softer, broken, but filled with the kind of strength that only someone who has lost everything could possibly possess. I don't want to bother. I just haven't eaten in days. If you're done, maybe I could. She couldn't finish. Her lips trembled too hard. Her throat closed up. The silence was suffocating. The weight of 100 judging eyes burned against her skin. And yet, she didn't lower her gaze. She stood there, trembling, ashamed, but standing. Valeria's fingers tightened around the porcelain cup. Her lips parted slightly, but her face remained unreadable. Nobody in that diner could have ever imagined what was about to happen next. Because what Valeria was about to do was something that would not only change this girl's life, it would change everything. For a few seconds, nothing moved. Nothing. The air was thick, heavy, oppressive. Valeria Montenegro didn't answer. She didn't blink. She simply stared. Her green eyes scanned every inch of that fragile figure in front of her. The trembling hands, the skinny arms, the cheeks sunken from hunger, the clothes barely holding together, shoes broken, one step away from falling apart completely. But there was something else, something behind those tear-filled brown eyes, a kind of dignity that hunger couldn't steal. Gasps echoed around the restaurant. People exchanged glances. Some covered their mouths. Others smirked cruelly. Unbelievable, murmured one woman at a nearby table. She's got some nerve, whispered a man, shaking his head. Disgusting, someone else scoffed. Whispers turned into murmurs. Murmurs turned into judgment. The girl, whose name no one there even knew, stood frozen, clutching her worn bag like it was the only thing keeping her from collapsing. Her lips trembled. Her eyes blinked rapidly, trying and failing to hold back the tears. She regretted it instantly. Why'd I do this? I should have just kept walking. But hunger, desperation, pain, they pushed harder than pride could resist. She took a shaky step back, ready to turn and run, when suddenly, Valeria placed her coffee cup down. Slowly, carefully, her fingers released the handle as if something shifted inside her. She leaned back in her chair, crossed one leg over the other, folded her arms, and for the first time, she spoke. Say it again. Her voice was low, smooth, controlled, but sharp as a knife. The girl flinched. Her hands tightened around her bag. Her lips parted, but no sound came out. Go on. Valeria tilted her head, her piercing gaze locking onto her. Say it. I want to hear it again. Her knees trembled. Her chest tightened. Her throat burned. She closed her eyes for a second, took a shaky breath, and then whispered, with the last bit of strength she had left. P, please. I just want to know if I could eat your leftovers. A woman at the back gasped, covering her mouth. Someone let out a cruel laugh. Valeria didn't move, didn't flinch, didn't even blink. Her fingers tapped slowly against the table. Once, twice, 3 times. And then, with a voice cold enough to freeze the air, but with something unreadable beneath, she asked, What's your name? The girl's lips trembled. Her eyes widened. She blinked. And my name? She stammered, confused, unsure if this was mockery or something else. Valeria leaned forward slightly. Her eyes didn't soften, but something flickered there. Something old, buried. Yes, she repeated. I asked you, what's your name? The girl hesitated, swallowed hard. Sophia, she whispered. My name is Sophia. A long, heavy silence filled the diner. Everyone held their breath. Valeria stared at her, unmoving, unblinking. Her jaw tightened, her nails pressed in her palms. And then, without breaking eye contact, she stood up, pushed her chair back slowly, picked up her handbag, slung it over her shoulder, took one step towards Sophia, then another, until they were face to face. The room was dead silent. Not a soul dared to move. Valeria inhaled sharply and said, Follow me. Gasps exploded around the room. What? Someone whispered. Is she serious? Another muttered. Sophia stood frozen. Her mouth opened. Her voice failed. Her legs refused to move. Valeria raised an eyebrow. I said, Follow me. Her voice left no space for discussion. And with that, Valeria turned around and walked straight out of the diner. Sophia stood trembling, shaking, confused, terrified. But somewhere, deep inside her, something told her that if she walked through that door, her life would never be the same again. For a few seconds, Sophia didn't move. Her legs frozen, her heart pounding so hard, it felt like it was about to explode from her chest. Did she really say that? Did she really tell me to follow her? Her eyes darted toward the door, where Valeria Montenegro had just walked out. The wind blew the diner's doors open for a moment, as if the universe itself was waiting, watching, daring her to move. But then, the whispers started. What the hell is going on? Is this a joke? She's going to regret this. That girl doesn't belong in her world. The weight of every voice, every judgment, every stare came crashing down on Sophia's shoulders. Her hands trembled, her knees weakened, and yet, despite the fear, despite the shame, despite the storm of emotions tearing her apart from the inside, her feet moved. One step, then another, and another. Slowly, cautiously she followed. As she stepped out of the diner, the cold night air hit her skin like a slap. The wind carried dust from the dirt road, swirling around her, tangling her already messy hair. Valeria stood by a black truck, leaning casually against the door, arms crossed, hat tilted slightly forward. Her eyes, unreadable. Her presence, overwhelming. Sophia approached slowly, her arms crossed tightly over her chest, as if to shield herself from both the wind and the unknown. Where are we going? Her voice trembled. Valeria didn't answer right away. She stared at Sophia with those sharp, piercing eyes. Eyes that had seen too much. Eyes that didn't just look at people. They looked through them. "Get in," she said simply, nodding toward the passenger door. Sophia's mouth opened, but no words came out. I don't," she stammered. "I don't understand why." Valeria pushed herself off the truck, took a step closer. "Because you asked me. Something no one in this town would have ever dared," she said, her voice low, firm. "And because there are questions that deserve answers." Sophia's chest tightened. A knot in her throat grew so big it hurt. But her instinct screamed, "Don't trust her. Don't. People like her don't help girls like you." And yet, there was something in Valeria's voice. Something deeper. Something that didn't match her cold, distant image. Sophia took a shaky breath, bit her lower lip, and whispered, "Oh, okay." With trembling hands, she opened the truck door and climbed in. The leather seat was cold, smooth, smelled of expensive perfume mixed with leather and something else, something familiar but distant. Valeria walked around, climbed into the driver's seat, started the engine. For a moment, neither of them said a word. The only sound was the low rumble of the truck and the wind howling outside. Then, Valeria spoke. Her voice, softer now, but not weak. Never weak. "What's a girl like you doing out here? Starving, begging?" she asked, without looking at Sophia. Her eyes fixed on the dirt road ahead. Sophia swallowed hard. Her hands tightened on her bag. It's a long story," she whispered. Valeria nodded slightly. "Good," she said, "because the road's long too." She shifted gears. The truck rumbled forward. Dust flew up behind them as they drove deeper into the night. Neither of them knew it yet, but that drive, that moment, was about to uncover secrets. So dark, so painful, so life-changing, that neither Sophia nor Valeria would ever be the same again. The truck rumbled through the empty dirt roads, cutting through the silent night like a ghost. The moon hung heavy above them, half covered by clouds, as if the sky itself was unsure whether to reveal or to hide what was about to unfold. Inside the truck, silence. Heavy, suffocating. Sophia pressed herself against the door, arms crossed tightly over her chest, her fingers gripping the strap of her bag like it was the only thing anchoring her to this world. Her eyes nervously darted between the road and Valeria, trying to figure her out, trying to understand. Why? But Valeria's face was carved in stone, cold, unreadable, focused on the road, her lips pressed in a thin line, her hands gripping the steering wheel, knuckles white. But behind those eyes, a storm, a memory, a ghost from a past that she had spent years trying to bury. The engine hummed. The tires crunched over gravel. The world around them was nothing but fields, fences, and endless shadows. Until finally, Valeria broke the silence. "You said your name is Sophia." Her voice wasn't a question. It was a confirmation. Sophia flinched slightly. "Why, yes," she whispered. Valeria nodded slowly. "How long have you been living like this?" Her tone was still sharp, but softer. Not pity, curiosity, maybe something else. Sophia hesitated. Her throat tightened. Her voice came out like a broken whisper. "Long enough." Valeria gripped the wheel tighter. "And family?" Her eyes didn't leave the road. "Do you have any?" The question hit like a slap. Sophia's chest tightened. Her jaw clenched. She shook her head slowly. "Not anymore," she whispered. Her voice trembled, barely holding back the lump rising in her throat. Silence. Heavy. Thick. Valeria's fingers tapped the wheel. Her throat tightened. Her mind racing. "Not anymore." Those two words echoed inside her skull like a gunshot. But why? Why did hearing that hurt so much? Why did her chest tighten in a way it hadn't in years? She didn't know. Or maybe she did. Maybe she just wasn't ready to admit it yet. She swallowed hard, cleared her throat. "Tell me," her voice softer now, almost fragile, "how does a girl like you end up like this?" Sophia's eyes filled with tears. Her lips trembled. Her chest rose and fell, struggling to hold it in, struggling to stay strong. And then it broke. "Because life isn't fair," she whispered, her voice cracking, because sometimes bad things happen and nobody comes to save you. Her fingers wiped a tear from her cheek. Her voice grew sharper, bitter, because people like me don't matter. Not here, not anywhere. People like me, we're invisible until someone needs a reason to laugh or something to gossip about. Valeria's jaw tightened. Her hands clenched on the steering wheel. And do you believe that? She asked, her tone lower, heavier, almost a whisper. Sophia turned her head slowly, looking straight into Valeria's eyes. I didn't, she whispered, not until this town made sure I did. For a moment, neither of them breathed. The pain between them, thick, real, suffocating. And as the truck kept driving deeper into the night, neither of them realized that fate was about to tear open a secret buried for so long that when it surfaced, it would destroy everything. The truck rolled to a slow stop. Dust swirled around them as the engine hummed down. Sophia blinked, confused. Her heart raced as her eyes scanned the place. A wide wooden gate, a long, endless fence wrapped around hills covered in grass. Huge oak trees stretched into the sky, and beyond the gate, a ranch house. Massive, elegant, the kind of place that felt like it didn't belong to this world. At least, not to hers. Where are we? Sophia whispered, her voice shaking. Valeria didn't answer. She pushed the door open, stepped out, boots hitting the gravel with that same commanding presence, as if even the ground itself obeyed her. Sophia sat there, frozen. Her hands clutched the seat. Her body trembled. Valeria walked around the truck, opened the passenger door. Get out, she said, her tone sharp, but there was something beneath it. Something softer, something wounded. Sophia shook her head slightly, confused. Why? She stammered. Why am I here? What do you want from me? Valeria exhaled slowly. Her eyes flickered. For a second, just a second, her armor cracked. I don't know, she admitted quietly. Maybe I just need answers. Sophia blinked. Answers? She whispered. To what? Valeria didn't respond. She turned sharply and began walking toward the house. Come, she ordered over her shoulder. Sophia hesitated. Then her feet moved, as if drawn by something stronger than fear. Step by step, she followed, up the gravel path, past a fountain, through the grand wooden doors, and into a world that didn't feel real. Inside, marble floors, antique furniture, chandeliers that looked like they belonged in palaces, walls covered with photographs, portraits, awards. But then, something caught Sophia's eye. A photograph, framed in gold, hanging above the grand staircase. Two people, a man and a woman. The man, tall, broad-shouldered, smiling with pride, cowboy hat tilted, and the woman. Sophia's chest tightened. Her heart skipped, her breath caught, because that woman in the photo, looked exactly like her. Same eyes, same hair, same face. Her legs weakened. Her fingers gripped the banister. No, this can't be. What is this? Valeria stopped halfway through the hall. Noticed Sophia frozen, staring at the photo. Her lips tightened. Her jaw clenched. You see it too, don't you? Valeria's voice was low, hoarse. Sophia turned, her mouth trembling. Who is she? She stuttered. Valeria stepped closer. Her eyes burned. Her name was Camila. Her voice cracked. She was my sister. Sophia's knees buckled. Her hands flew to her mouth. No, this isn't real. Valeria's hands clenched into fists. Her voice dropped, darker, heavier. She left this town 21 years ago. Her throat tightened, and she never came back. Sophia gasped, shaking her head, tears welling. No, it can't be. Valeria took a shaky step forward. Tell me. Her voice dropped to a whisper. Sophia, who was your mother? Sophia's lips trembled. Her chest heaved. Her whole body shook. And then, her voice broke into 1,000 pieces. Her name was Camila. Valeria's knees weakened. Her eyes widened. Her hand flew to her mouth. Her breath caught. Her world shattered. No, she whispered, no, it can't be. Because in that moment, Both women understood something that neither of them was prepared to face. Sophia wasn't just a stranger. She wasn't just a homeless girl. She was her niece. Silence. The kind of silence that presses against your chest, squeezes your throat, and makes breathing nearly impossible. Valeria stood frozen. Her lips parted, but no sound came out. Her eyes, those cold, sharp emerald eyes, were now wide, confused, shattered. Camila. Her voice came out as nothing but a whisper. Camila, was your mother? Sophia couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. Her knees trembled. Her vision blurred from the tears welling up, threatening to spill over. She gripped the edge of the staircase for balance. Her voice cracked, but somehow it came out. Yes, her whisper was almost silent. Her lips trembled. Her hands shook. She died 3 years ago. Her voice broke raw, filled with pain. And after that, I had no one left. Valeria staggered backward, as if the words had hit her in the chest like a bullet. Her back pressed against the wall. Her hands flew to her mouth. Her fingers trembled. Her heart, her entire chest, felt like it was being ripped open. No, she whispered, no. This can't. She paced back, clutching her head. Her breathing turned sharp, fast, desperate. I thought she left forever. I thought. Her voice cracked, her words barely making it out. She never told me. Sophia stood there, frozen, broken. Her mind raced. What is happening? What does this mean? Tears flooded her face. Her chest heaved, sobs threatening to break through. Valeria finally turned back to her. Her eyes, glassy, red, broken. Why? Her voice was a whisper. Why didn't I know? Why? Did no one tell me? Sophia shook her head violently, biting her lower lip so hard it nearly bled. I don't know. Her voice broke into sobs. My mom. She never told me anything. She never spoke about her past, about this place, about anything. Her legs gave out. She collapsed on her knees right there on the marble floor, sobbing in her hands, her body shaking uncontrollably. Valeria dropped to her knees in front of her. Her hands hovered for a moment, trembling, unsure, afraid. But then, her instincts took over. Her hands reached out and pulled Sophia into her arms. Sophia gasped. Her body stiffened, but only for a moment. And then, she broke. Completely. She buried her face into Valeria's chest, sobbing like a child, like a soul that had held on for far too long, finally letting go. And Valeria, the woman everyone in town feared, respected, envied, the untouchable, the invincible, held her, rocked her, cried with her. Her tears fell silently, dripping onto Sophia's tangled hair. Her hand trembled as it stroked her back. I didn't know, Valeria whispered, over and over. I didn't know. Minutes passed, maybe hours. Neither of them knew. Time didn't exist in that moment. Just pain, grief, and something else, something slowly breaking free from beneath all the years of hurt. Love. Because in that moment, both of them realized they weren't just strangers tied by blood. They were two souls, two broken hearts, who had spent their whole lives searching for each other without even knowing it. The morning sun painted the sky with soft orange and pink hues. But inside the Montenegro estate, it felt like a storm was brewing. Sophia stood in front of the giant mirror in one of the guest rooms. A room so big, it could fit the entire alley where she used to sleep. Her fingers trembled as she touched the fabric of the dress laid out on the bed. Simple, elegant, new, not extravagant, but more beautiful than anything she'd ever owned. A gentle knock at the door pulled her out of her trance. Come in, her voice came out small. The door opened, and Valeria stepped inside. But this wasn't the Valeria the town knew. This was someone else. Her long hair was tied back in a soft braid. Her usual sharp, commanding posture was replaced by something warmer, softer. Her eyes, still intense, but no longer cold. In her hands, a box. She stepped forward, placed it on the bed, and opened it. Inside, a pair of polished leather boots, a simple silver necklace, and a brush. These were Camila's. Valeria's voice cracked slightly. I've kept them. all these years. Sophia's hand flew to her mouth. Her chest tightened. Her eyes flooded instantly. I don't, her voice trembled. I don't deserve. Valeria stepped forward, took Sophia's hands in hers. Yes, she whispered. Yes, you do. For a long moment, they just stood there. Two women, two broken pieces of a story that destiny had stitched back together. Valeria inhaled deeply, straightened her shoulders. Sophia, today, we go to town. Sophia's eyes widened. Her hands trembled. What? No, I can't. Not like this. Valeria shook her head firmly. Yes, you can, and you will. No more hiding. No more shame. No more walking with your head down. Her voice softened. You are a Montenegro, whether the town likes it or not. Sophia's heart pounded. Her hands squeezed Valeria's tightly. Her mind raced. Fear, panic, shame. They'll stare, they'll laugh. But beneath the fear, something else stirred. Something stronger. No, not this time. Sophia straightened her back, wiped her tears, nodded. Okay. Her voice was still shaky, but there was fire in it. Okay, let's go. Moments later, the black truck pulled into the center of the village. It felt like the entire town turned to look at once. Farmers, shopkeepers, waitresses, old ladies sitting on their porches. Conversation stopped. Forks hovered midair. Children tugged at their mother's sleeves. Because there she was, Valeria Montenegro, the queen of the town, and walking beside her, holding her hand, Sophia, her head high, her back straight, clean, dressed, beautiful. Gone was the trembling girl in torn clothes. Gone was the invisible soul that everyone pretended not to see. The whispers exploded instantly. Is that the homeless girl? No, it can't be. She's with Valeria, holding her hand. What is going on? Valeria didn't stop, didn't flinch. Her boots echoed on the cobblestone as she led Sophia right into the heart of the plaza, right past the diner, the same diner where everything had started. And just as expected, from the entrance stood Armando, arms crossed, eyes burning with fury, his jaw clenched so tight it looked like it might snap. Sophia flinched slightly, but Valeria squeezed her hand. Don't, Valeria whispered, don't look down. Not ever again. Armando stepped forward. So this is it, he spat, parading her like some prize, like she belongs here. Valeria turned, slowly, deliberately. She does. Her voice was ice and fire at the same time, more than anyone. The crowd gasped. Murmurs grew louder. People exchanged stunned glances. Armando scoffed, stepping closer, lowering his voice but dripping with venom. You think the town will accept her? A street rat? You think they'll accept you? After this? Valeria's eyes narrowed. I don't care if they do. Her voice was steel, but they will respect her, because anyone who doesn't isn't welcome in my world anymore. The tension was suffocating. Every person in that plaza held their breath. And Sophia squeezed Valeria's hand, lifted her chin, and for the first time in her life, she wasn't ashamed. The tension in the plaza was suffocating. The air, heavy, eyes everywhere, whispers multiplying like wildfire. But Valeria didn't flinch. Her posture was straight, her grip on Sophia's hand, firm. Armando, however, was boiling, his face red, his fists clenched so tight that his knuckles turned white. You'll regret this, Valeria, he hissed, low but sharp. You're destroying everything. Your reputation, your legacy. Valeria turned her head slightly, her eyes cutting through him like daggers. A legacy built on what, huh? She snapped. On lies? On turning our backs to our own blood? On pretending we're better than everyone else? The crowd gasped. Nobody had ever heard Valeria Montenegro raise her voice, let alone like this. Armando stepped forward. You think you know the truth. His voice dropped, venomous. But you know nothing, Valeria. Nothing. Her eyes narrowed. Then enlighten me, she shot back, because right now, all I see is a coward. A coward who's terrified that his little world is crumbling. Sophia's breath caught. Her fingers trembled, gripping Valeria's hand tighter. But then, Armando's expression shifted, from fury to something darker, something cruel. A twisted smile pulled at his lips. Fine, he said, voice low. You want the truth? He turned, looked straight at Sophia. You think she's your hero, girl? He scoffed. You think she's the savior you've been waiting for? Sophia flinched. Her chest tightened. Her pulse raced. Armando's gaze snapped back to Valeria. His jaw tightened. Tell her, Valeria. His voice was ice. Tell her why her mother left this town, why she disappeared, why she never came back. The crowd gasped. People leaned closer, holding their breath. Valeria froze. Her lips parted. Her hands trembled slightly. Sophia turned, her eyes wide. Her throat tightened. What does he mean? Her voice cracked. Valeria's lips quivered. Her hands clenched into fists. Armando stepped closer. You never told her, did you? He whispered, loud enough for everyone to hear. You never told her that you were the reason Camila left. Silence. Crushing. Suffocating. Sophia's entire body went cold. And no, she stammered, shaking her head. That's not true, right? Right? Valeria's eyes welled. Her throat burned. Her hands trembled. But she didn't deny it. She couldn't. Tears filled Sophia's eyes. Her breathing turned sharp. What did you do? Her voice cracked. Tell me, please. Tell me. Valeria shut her eyes tightly. Her chest heaved. Her voice shattered. I made a mistake. The words hit the plaza like thunder. Sophia stumbled back. Her hands covered her mouth. Her head shook violently. No, no, no. Valeria stepped forward, desperate. Sophia, listen to me. I was young, stupid, blinded. Her voice broke. Camila, she fell in love with someone I didn't approve of, someone the town didn't approve of. Her lips trembled. Her voice dropped into a whisper. I gave her an ultimatum. Her throat tightened. I told her, either she chose me and this family, or she walked away with him. Sophia's knees buckled. Her breath was ragged. Her vision blurred. And she chose him. Valeria's voice shattered. She chose love, and I turned my back on her. I told her she was dead to me. Gasps exploded through the crowd. Hands flew to mouths. People whispered frantically. Sophia shook her head, tears streaming uncontrollably. So that's it, she sobbed. You're the reason. She died alone. She suffered. Valeria sobbed, stepping forward, reaching out. Sophia, please. I didn't know. I never thought. I never imagined. Her hands trembled. I thought she'd come back. I thought. Sophia stumbled back, shaking her head violently. No, 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 she cried. You broke her. The silence that followed was brutal. A silence filled with nothing but the sound of Sophia's sobs, Valeria's broken breaths, and the cruel satisfaction shining in Armando's eyes. Because sometimes the truth hurts more than anything. Sophia trembled. Her chest rose and fell, desperate for air that just wasn't enough. Her legs weakened. Her vision blurred. Her ears buzzed, drowning out the gasps, the whispers, the stares. She destroyed my mother. She destroyed her. Valeria stepped forward, her arms stretched toward her, her face soaked in tears. Sophia, please. Her voice cracked. Listen to me. I was young, arrogant. I thought I was protecting her, protecting our family. Sophia backed away. Protecting? Her voice came out broken, trembling. You call turning your back on your own sister. Protecting. Valeria's lips trembled. Her hand shook. I was wrong. I was so wrong. She whispered, her eyes swollen, her breathing ragged. I thought if I threatened her, she'd change her mind. I thought she'd stay. Tears streamed down Sophia's face. But she didn't. Her voice cracked. She chose love, and you threw her away. The weight of those words hit Valeria like a blade. She collapsed to her knees. Her hands covered her mouth. Her shoulders shook as sobs broke free, deep, raw, gut-wrenching sobs that echoed through the plaza. The queen of the town, the untouchable, the powerful, the feared, was now on her knees, begging, crying, broken. Sophia wiped her tears roughly, shaking her head. Her heart battled against itself. Rage, sorrow, confusion, all tangled into a storm. All these years, her voice trembled, I thought I was alone because life was cruel, because fate hated me. But no, her breathing hitched. It was you. Valeria crawled closer, clutching Sophia's hands. Please, please forgive me, her voice shattered. If I could go back, if I could change everything, I would. I swear, I would. Sophia wanted to pull her hand away. She wanted to scream, to run, to disappear. But her fingers wouldn't let go. Her heart betrayed her, because deep inside, beneath the anger, beneath the pain, there was a piece of her that had always wanted this. A family, someone, anyone. Valeria sobbed, holding her hands tightly against her chest. I lost my sister, she whispered. I won't lose you too. The words hit Sophia's chest like thunder. Her lips trembled, her knees weakened, her throat closed. I don't know if I can. Her voice was barely audible. I don't know if I can forgive you. Valeria nodded, tears still falling. You don't have to, not now, not ever, if you don't want to. Her voice trembled, but please let me make it right. Sophia fell to her knees in front of her, shaking her head, crying, sobbing into her own hands. Why? Why did life have to be like this? She whispered, broken. Why? Why didn't she tell me? What? Valeria pulled her closer, wrapping her arms around her. Because she wanted to protect you, she whispered. Even after everything, she still tried to protect you from the pain, from the truth. The crowd stood in absolute silence. No more whispers, no more laughter, no more judgment, only silence. The kind of silence that happens when people witness a moment that changes lives. Because right there, in the middle of the plaza, two broken souls finally stopped fighting each other and started fighting together. For a long moment, they just held each other. Two souls, broken in different ways, finally realizing that, despite the pain, they still had each other. When Sophia finally pulled back, her hands wiped her face quickly, almost embarrassed. Her chest still rose and fell rapidly, but her eyes no longer held just pain. There was something else now, something new, something called strength. Valeria stood up slowly, offering her hand. Come. Her voice was soft but firm. Let's show them. Let's show this whole town exactly who you are. Sophia blinked. Her lips trembled. Who am I? Her voice came out small. Valeria squeezed her hand. Her green eyes burned, not with anger, but with fire. You are Sophia Montenegro. Her voice dropped into something fierce. And it's about time they all learn what that means. Sophia gasped softly. Her heart pounded. Her knees trembled, but she didn't let go. She wouldn't. Not anymore. Let's go, she whispered back. Let's do this. As they walked side by side through the plaza, the whispers started again. But this time, they sounded different. Not just gossip, not just judgment, shock, confusion, and fear. Because no one had ever seen Valeria Montenegro walk hand in hand with anyone, let alone a girl the town had spent years pretending didn't exist. The doors of the town's main office flew open. The mayor, the business owners, the lawyers, all stood there, frozen. Armando was standing among them, his jaw clenched, his fists tight. But this time, there was something else in his eyes. Panic. Valeria didn't stop. Her boots hit the marble floor of the town hall with that same commanding echo that made walls shake. She walked straight to the mayor's desk, pulled a folder from her bag, and slammed it down. Effective immediately. Her voice was like thunder. I'm transferring 40% of my land holdings into a trust. Under her name. She tilted her chin toward Sophia. Gasps exploded around the room. What? The mayor stammered. This is insane. One of the businessmen choked. Armando took a step forward. You can't be serious, Valeria. He exploded. You're giving her a piece of this town? Of everything you built? Everything your family built? Valeria turned slowly. Her eyes burned. She is my family. She hissed. She always was. Whether I saw it before or not. Sophia gasped. Her hands trembled, but Valeria squeezed them tighter. She's not a shadow anymore. Not a ghost. Not someone you can ignore. or humiliate. From this day on, she stands where she belongs, beside me, as a Montenegro. Silence. Dead. Frozen. Shocking. No one in that room knew what to say. But Sophia. Sophia lifted her chin. Her lips parted. Her voice trembled but rose. "I'm not asking anyone here to like me," she whispered, but her voice grew louder. "But you will respect me, because I survived without any of you, without your pity, without your crumbs, without your kindness." Her hands balled into fists. Her eyes burned. "I don't need to belong to your world, because today I build my own." The silence shattered. People gasped. Some turned their heads. Others lowered their eyes, because for the first time, the girl they all once ignored, once mocked, once treated like trash, was standing taller than any of them ever had. The weight of Sophia's words hung in the air like thunder. Not a soul moved, not a whisper, not a breath. For the first time, the town realized the girl they once laughed at, ignored, kicked, was no longer someone to pity. She was power. She was fire. She was a Montenegro. Armando stood frozen. His jaw clenched so tightly it looked like it might snap. His hands trembled, not from rage anymore, from fear, because deep down, he knew everything he had built, everything he had manipulated behind Valeria's back for years, was about to crumble. Valeria turned toward him, slowly, her eyes sharp, cold, unforgiving. "You thought," her voice was dangerously low, "that I wouldn't find out, didn't you?" Armando's eyes flickered. His throat tightened. "Find out what?" he muttered, trying to keep the edge in his voice. Valeria pulled another folder from her bag, slammed it on the desk. "That while I was too busy grieving, while I was too busy drowning in guilt for what I did to my sister, you were busy stealing from me." Gasps filled the room. The mayor stepped back. The lawyers exchanged horrified glances. Sophia turned her eyes toward Armando, confused, but sensing the storm brewing. Armando's face twisted. "You have no proof," he growled. Valeria leaned in. "Oh, but I do." Her voice dropped. "Bank records, fake land sales, ghost companies in other towns. Money that was never meant for you." Her voice cracked, but it wasn't weakness. It was fury. "You didn't just betray me. You betrayed my family, my blood, my sister's daughter." Her hand gestured toward Sophia. "You tried to steal her future before it even began." Armando's face turned red. His chest rose and fell rapidly. His hands trembled as he searched for words, but found none. Valeria snapped her fingers, and from the door, 2 police officers stepped inside. "Don Armando," one officer announced, "you are under arrest for fraud, embezzlement, and identity theft." No, no. Armando roared. You can't do this to me." The officers grabbed his arms. He struggled, but it was useless. "Let go of me. Let go. Valeria, you'll regret this. You'll all regret this." Valeria crossed her arms. Her face was stone. "No." Her voice was cold. "The only thing I regret is not doing this sooner." The officers dragged him out, past the shocked faces of the town, past the whispers, the gasps. And for the first time, the plaza didn't laugh, didn't whisper cruel things, didn't mock, because they all knew justice had arrived. Valeria turned back toward Sophia. Her eyes softened. Her shoulders dropped, as if the weight of years, decades, had finally been lifted. She reached for Sophia's hands, held them. "I know." Her voice trembled. "I can't change the past. I can't erase what I did, what I said, what I failed to be for you. For Camila." Sophia's eyes flooded. Her hand squeezed Valeria's tightly. Valeria inhaled sharply. "But I swear to you, from this day forward, you will never, never be alone again." Sophia bit her trembling lip. Her knees shook. Her voice cracked, but came out. "I believe you." Valeria gasped softly. Her hands flew to her mouth. "I believe you," Sophia repeated, tears falling. "I don't know if I can ever forget, but I can forgive." The floodgates broke. Valeria pulled her into her arms. Both of them collapsed into each other's embrace, crying, laughing, shaking. 2 souls, broken for too long, finally healing. The plaza applauded, slowly at first, then louder and louder, until the entire town was clapping. Not because they were perfect, not because the past had vanished, but because redemption is the most powerful miracle there is. The following weeks felt like something out of a dream Sophia never, in a million years, thought she'd be living. Gone were the nights sleeping under the cold sky. Gone were the looks of pity, the cruel whispers, the shame. Now, she woke up in a warm bed, surrounded by walls that no longer felt like cages, but like home. Valeria kept her promise. Every day, every single day, she showed up. She taught Sophia everything: how to manage the land, how to handle business, how to stand tall, how to be a Montenegro. But more importantly, she taught her how to heal. And Sophia taught Valeria something far greater: that love isn't measured by pride, or by power, or by money. It's measured by showing up, by holding someone's hand and never letting go. 1 month later, the entire town was gathered in the same plaza where everything had started. But this time, it wasn't for scandal, or gossip, or shame. It was for something beautiful. Valeria stood in front of everyone, dressed not in her usual cold, powerful outfits, but in something softer, warmer. Sophia stood beside her, head high, chin up, smiling. Valeria cleared her throat. Her voice echoed through the microphone. For too long, she began, her voice trembling. I believed that this family was built on power, on respect, on pride. Her eyes scanned the crowd. But I was wrong. Murmurs rippled. Valeria squeezed Sophia's hand. This family, this legacy, will no longer be about power or pride or appearances. From today on, it will be about something else. Her voice cracked. About love, about redemption, about doing the right thing, no matter what it costs. She turned to Sophia. Her lips trembled into a smile. And this young woman is living proof that it's never too late to change everything. The applause was thunderous, louder than anything this town had ever heard. Tears flowed freely, not just from Sophia, not just from Valeria, but from the entire town. Because in that moment, they weren't witnessing just a story. They were witnessing a miracle. Later that night, as the sun set behind the hills, painting the sky in gold and crimson, Sophia sat on the porch. Valeria brought 2 cups of coffee, sat beside her. For a moment, neither spoke. They just existed, in peace, in quiet, in something that neither of them had felt in years. Until Sophia turned, smiled. You know, she whispered, when I asked you if I could eat your leftovers. Her voice cracked, but her smile grew. I never imagined this. Valeria laughed softly, squeezing her hand. Neither did I. Her eyes shimmered, but thank God you asked. Sophia rested her head on Valeria's shoulder, and together, they watched the sun disappear. 2 souls, once broken, now finally whole. Sometimes, life feels unfair. Sometimes, it feels like the world has forgotten us, like no one cares, like we are completely alone. But God never forgets. He writes stories we don't always understand at first. Stories of pain, of loss, of brokenness, but also of second chances, of love, of redemption, and of miracles. Because no matter how lost you feel, no matter how broken your heart is, God always has a plan. And sometimes that plan starts with something as simple as a question, a glance, or a helping hand. And if this story touched your heart, tell me in the comments. Where are you watching this video from? I truly want to know where this message is reaching. And if it made sense to you, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and share this video with someone who needs to hear this today. May God bless you, protect you, and remind you every single day that you are never, ever alone.